Black Lives Matter, but not till they're dead, right? For Keith Childress, may he rest in peace, who was shot and killed in December of 2015 when the police officer mistook his phone for a weapon. No officers were charged with this crime. For Betty Jones, may she rest in peace, who was shot and killed by a police officer on Christmas Day after opening the door. No officers have been charged with this crime. For Kevin Matthews, may he rest in peace, who was pepper sprayed and shot after getting into an altercation with the officer. Kevin was schizophrenic. No officers have been charged with this crime. For Michael Noel, may he rest in peace. He was only 32 when he had a mental breakdown. His mother called the police for his own safety, yet he was handcuffed and shot twice with no officers being charged for this crime. For Michael Lee Marshall, may he rest in peace. A 50-year-old man who was unarmed and mentally ill was restrained by 3 sheriff deputies to an unconscious state where he later died 9 days after on life support. No officers have been charged with this crime. And for George Floyd, may he rest in peace, who was handcuffed with his face shoved into the hot concrete, who was slowly suffocated by the knee of one officer as the other stood and watched. No officers have been charged with this crime.
Black Lives Matter is a hashtag, a rallying cry, and an independence movement that has been and is still going on till this very day. It lies directly at the intersection of race relations and deadly forces in America. The core issue here is revolved around injustice for all races, more specifically Black lives, which then stem from 3 main aspects: power, identity, and human rights. Here's a short background on the very start of this independence movement. So in total, the US government does not keep an official count of shootings by law enforcement, but in the ongoing Washington Post tally, identified 990 fatal shootings by law enforcement in 2015, and of the 93 unarmed civilians killed by police. In these cases, more than 40% were Black Americans, despite the fact that Black people make up 13% of the nation's population. This movement started in 2012 when Trayvon Martin was gunned down by George Zimmerman, who wasn't a cop but a neighborhood watch volunteer who claimed he shot Martin in self-defense. After Zimmerman's acquittal in 2013, the phrase Black Lives Matter debuted as a hashtag on Twitter and had signs on protest rallies all over the nation. And in 2014, after many cases occurred just like Martin's, the hashtag was used more than 52,000 times. The recent tragic killing of George Floyd has resurfaced the movement, which has caught the attention and involvement of the global community and has resurged global waves of activism in the form of protests. In the case of power here, it's authority. Authority of civilians and how authority is being abused in the name of the government. In terms of identity, the movement Black Lives Matter is a form of empowerment by giving a minority, Black lives in this case, a united voice. This movement has created solidarity among the Blacks who would otherwise feel unheard if they did not associate themselves with this identity. In this situation, there are multiple human rights that are being violated. The purpose of Human Rights Commission and laws are to protect the dignity of individuals and groups collectively that would normally be violated due to racism, sexism, etc.